So, are you tired of just hopping from one job to the next? Kind of feeling like you're always reacting instead of actually building your own path? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down how you can stop just surviving and start strategically building a career, one that has real direction, meaning, and, long term value. First things first, we've got to talk about a problem that so many of us fall into. It's called the job survival trap. It's that whole cycle of reactive moves that feels like you're making progress, but really, it often just leads nowhere. It's stressful, it's not efficient, and let's be honest, it is not a strategy for building a career you love. Sound familiar? I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? When you're in survival mode, all your decisions are driven by what's right in front of you: fear, money, what everyone else is doing, and not by some long-term vision. It's like you're on a treadmill. You're putting in all this effort, you're sweating, but you're not actually going anywhere. And what's so powerful here is the contrast. On one side, you have that reactive search. It's just chaos, it's short-term thinking, and it's driven by whatever life throws at you. But on the other side, you've got a strategic career journey that's intentional. That's about making sure your work actually lines up with your values. It's about focusing on where you want to be in 10 years, not just where you need to be in 10 months. Okay, so how do we get out of the trap? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in your mindset. You have to stop thinking of yourself as a job hunter and start seeing yourself as a career architect. You're the one holding the blueprints to your professional life. This table right here really breaks it down. A job? That's short term. It's about the paycheck. A career starts looking at the medium to long term. It's about your skills, your progression. And then you have a calling, which is all about your lifetime impact. Now look, the goal isn't that you have to find your calling by tomorrow morning, okay? It's about consciously making choices that get you out of that job mindset and into the career mindset. And to do that, you need a destination. You need a professional North Star. This is your long-term direction, the thing that guides all your smaller day-to-day decisions. Like what roles you take, what skills you learn. It's that vision that keeps you from getting distracted by every shiny new thing that comes along. So how do you find that North Star? Well, you start by asking yourself the right questions. And as you can see, this isn't just about a job title. It's about asking yourself, what kind of problems do I actually enjoy solving? What income level do I need to live the life I want? What level of leadership or influence do I really want to have? You don't need perfect answers right now, but you do need a direction. That becomes your compass. All right, once you have that direction, the next step is to take stock of what you're working with. And I want you to stop thinking about your career as a resume. Instead, think of it as a portfolio of assets. And these are assets that, if you invest in them smartly, they compound over time and create incredible value. First up is skills capital. This is your bedrock. It's your hard skills, the technical stuff like coding in Python or running financial models. But it's also your transferable skills, which are absolutely crucial. Things like being a great public speaker or an amazing negotiator. You need both to grow. Next is experience capital. Now, this isn't just a list of jobs you've had. This is your proof. It's the difference between saying, I worked in marketing and saying, I led a campaign that increased our qualified leads by 30%. It's all about those tangible, measurable results. And then we've got network capital. You've heard the saying, your network is your net worth. It's a cliche for a reason, because it's true. Having strong, real relationships with mentors, with peers, with contacts in your industry, that's a massive multiplier. It opens doors you never even knew existed. And finally, there's reputation capital. This is your personal brand. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. Are you known as the person who is just unbelievably reliable? The creative problem solver? The one person everyone goes to for advice on a specific topic? This asset is built brick by brick on consistency and trust over years. Okay, so you have your North Star, you've looked at your assets, now what? You need a practical way to turn all that ambition into an actual plan. And for that, we can use a simple but super powerful tool, the GROW model. This framework is so good because it forces you to get clear. G is for goal. What exactly do you want to achieve? R is for reality. Where are you right now, honestly? O is for options. Let's brainstorm all the different ways you could get from your reality to your goal. And finally, W is for the way forward, committing to a specific, actionable plan. It turns a vague idea into a real project. So now let's put all these pieces together and build something you can actually use, a 5-year blueprint. And look, this is not about rigidly planning every single day. It's about setting a clear, strategic direction for the next big phase of your career, with real milestones you can track along the way. A huge part of this blueprint is something called skill stacking, and this example just shows it perfectly. Don't be one-dimensional. Today's world rewards rare and valuable combinations of skills. Being a writer is common, but being a writer who also deeply understands SEO, knows how to use AI tools, and gets brand strategy, that's rare, and rare is valuable. It's also really helpful to know where you are on this bigger career map. Just take a look at these 4 phases. Are you in that exploration phase where you're just learning and building foundational skills? Or maybe you're in the positioning phase where you start to specialize. Knowing your current phase helps you set way more realistic and effective goals for your blueprint. And as you build this plan, you got to be aware of these common traps. It is so easy to chase a hot new trend that doesn't actually align with your North Star, or to stay in a job that's comfortable but isn't really helping you grow. And a big one to watch out for: don't make a move just for a short-term pay bump if it takes you further away from where you really want to go. Here's what a structured blueprint could actually look like. You can see how year 1 is all about shoring up your foundation, filling in any skill gaps. Then years 2 and 3 are for specializing, really increasing your value in the market. And by years 4 and 5, you're positioning yourself for a real leadership or authority role. See, it's a roadmap that builds on itself year after year. And that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. An idea in your head is just a wish. The moment you write it down, it becomes a goal. It becomes real. It becomes something you can act on. So the final question is a simple one. What is the very first step of your career blueprint that you're going to write down today?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel right now so you never miss the insights that can transform your career and your life. Like this video to let us know it added value to you. Subscribe, like, and share. Let's build this movement together. Thank you.